Macro, picture this. You're at the Monaco Grand Prix. Ferrari's there, Mercedes is there, and then a Toyota Prius rolls up to the starting line.
I'm assuming the Prius gets lapped or run over.
That's what the short sellers thought. They looked at this company, IREN, and saw a Bitcoin miner driving a Prius, but they didn't look under the hood, because under the hood, it was a Formula One engine.
Okay, I love a good underdog story, but we are talking about serious infrastructure today. Welcome back to the Pod Slice Daily, everyone. I'm Macropod.
And I'm Tech Slice.
And today, we are walking through the 2026 AI pivot. We're looking at a specific report on energy intelligence convergence that maps out how we get from crypto mining to the backbone of the AI internet.
And we are tracking this exactly how the data lays it out, because it starts with a massive wall.
The physical wall.
Exactly. Page 2 of this analysis calls it the 2026 paradox. So, 98% of industry insiders say AI is the growth driver. We know that. But the number one obstacle isn't the chips. It's not the code.
It's the grid. We're hitting the electrical limit.
Right? It's insatiable demand versus power scarcity. So you have this collision course, and that is where the Prius analogy comes in.
Okay, bring it back to the Prius. This is about IREN starting as a Bitcoin miner, right?
Yes. See, the market looked at them and said, they just mine crypto. That's legacy tech. That's the Prius. But mining was just the bridge. Mining subsidized the land, it subsidized the substations, it paid for the utility relationships.
That's a smart way to frame it. While everyone else was fighting for permits in 2024, these guys were already plugged in. They were just using the power for a different math problem.
Exactly. They pivoted from a miner to a vertically integrated AI cloud, and then boom, the credibility event.
This is the Microsoft deal.
The big one, a $10 billion validation. They signed a multi-year contract for NVIDIA GB200 GPUs. But Macro, look at the scale. We're talking 200 megawatts of critical IT load just at their Childress, Texas site.
See, that changes the valuation model. You go from speculative crypto revenue, which is volatile as hell, to contracted utility-grade infrastructure. That's steady cash flow. That's bankable.
And that brings us to the latent giant. This is the part of the report that blew my mind. They aren't just using the power they have now. They have 3 gigawatts of secured power in the portfolio.
3 gigawatts?
3. The report says power is the new gold. They have a site in Sweetwater with over 2,000 megawatts sitting in reserve, energizing in April 2026.
That's the moat. If you try to build that greenfield today, you're waiting 5 years for a grid connection.
And geography is destiny here. The report points out this capital flight from Tier 1 markets. Everyone tried to build in Northern Virginia, right? But Northern Virginia is full. The grid is tapped out.
So the capital moves to Tier 2, Texas, British Columbia.
Exactly. Places with renewable energy and open capacity. IREN's facilities are purpose-built in these regions. 100% renewable utilization. They bypass the regulatory risks by going where the power was already waiting.
Okay, but Tech, we have to talk about the money. Building 3 gigawatts of infrastructure isn't cheap. This is usually where companies die, the famous Valley of Death.
Oh, the Valley of Death. I love this slide.
It's terrifying. You have massive capital expenditure, spending billions on GPUs before you see a dime of revenue. How do they cross that bridge without going bankrupt?
Financial alchemy.
That sounds like a scam.
No, it's brilliant. Look at the mix. First, they still have the Bitcoin mining. That's the funding engine. They use the daily cash from crypto to pay for the AI build-out.
So the volatile asset funds the stable asset.
Precisely. But then they use the Microsoft deal to get a 20% prepayment that reduces the cash burn. And because Microsoft is Microsoft, having them as a client enhances IREN's credit rating, allowing for better vendor financing.
So they're not diluting shareholders to death. They're using the customer's money and the crypto money to cross the valley.
And once they cross it, the outlook for 2026 shifts from speed to efficiency.
Right, because eventually everyone will have chips. Then it becomes about who can run them cheapest.
And who can keep them cool. The new NVIDIA chips are hot, literally hot. Air cooling fails. You need direct-to-chip liquid cooling. IREN's Childress facility is designed for this.
So let's look at the target. The report maps a path to $3.4 billion in annual recurring revenue.
From 23,000 GPUs today to 140,000 by the end of 2026. That is a hockey stick graph if I've ever seen one.
But it brings us to the final conclusion of the paper, the convergence.
The winners of 2026 will be those who control both the electron and the neuron.
That's a heavy line, but it's true. You can't have the intelligence, the neuron, without the energy, the electron.
It's the intersection of energy and intelligence. IREN isn't just a tech company anymore. They're building the utility company of the AI age.
It's a bold bet, but if they have the power and they have the contract, they might just win the race.
In a Prius that turned into a rocket ship.
All right, that's a wrap on the infrastructure pivot. Before we sign off, standard disclaimer, we are dissecting reports, not giving financial advice. Do your own diligence before you buy any stock, especially one pivoting from crypto to AI.